Hey everybody, this is your boy James, and I'm coming to you with another episode of Florida Lifestyle Podcast. And today we got some great guests by the name of DeAndre, and he's coming to tell you guys about the single male aspect in the lifestyle. Hoping you guys could take some of his tips and some of his lifestyle journey and use it in your life to enhance your journey as well. What's up, DeAndre? How are you? Thanks for coming.
What's going on? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Uh,
You're definitely welcome.
uh,
Um, yeah. So how long have your lifestyle journey has been, and actually, how did you get started?
Man, so I just celebrated my 20th year in the lifestyle. So April of 2006 is when I
Okay.
joined. So 2026 of April is when I celebrated 20 years of being in the lifestyle. It's actually funny how I got started in the lifestyle. So pretty much I'm originally from Michigan. And when I made the decision to leave Michigan in early 2006, I moved to Indianapolis, Indiana. So being new to Indianapolis, I mean, I've visited there before, but first time, well, wouldn't say my first time living in a different city and state, but it was the first time living there outside of being a guest in Indianapolis. So, don't know that many people. Wanted to, I'm single, wanted to meet people, preferably women more than anything else. And went to a mall one day and ran into this young lady. Thought she was attractive. Talked to her for a little bit. We exchanged numbers and everything, and then after that, we pretty much continued conversation over the phone. From then, pretty much, saying I wanted to see her again. Wanted to, see her face to face. It was one Saturday. She was telling me that she was going to a party. So of course, me being new, I'm trying to meet people. I'm like, hey, I want to go to a party. She's like, well, I don't know if this the party that, you kind of, think this is like a traditional party. So, I was intrigued. So I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, of course, being like, well, what do you mean? Like, what I'm about to get into? Like, I'm not trying to, get caught up in like some Saw movie or nothing like that. I'm like, so what's the deal? So she explained it and she told me what it was and whatnot. And of course, me being, at the time 23, young, full of cum, I was like, hell yeah, I want to go. Like, I never been in nothing like that before. And those type of parties or that type of situations before. So I was like, shit, yeah, I'm down to go. So pretty much I met up with her. So what this place was that it's this house that's in it's right outside downtown Indianapolis. It's a 4 level house. And actually, yeah, well, was the basement, then it's the main floor, then it's the house. So I'll say 3 level house, excuse me. So it's a 3 level house, and it's owned by a couple that's been a lifestyle who were running parties out of their well this home that they bought, and
Okay.
they would have parties every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then if there was a holiday on Monday, they would have parties on Saturday. So, or excuse me, on Sunday. So, the basement, I mean, it's like a locker room, showers. There's a big porn area. There's a play area. There's a pool area. You get to the main floor. There's a bar. Well, I wouldn't say a bar, but like it's kind of a bar, but I mean, they don't sell liquor. But they pretty much had a dance floor, little rooms and everything. And then on the third floor is when they had like different rooms of like different playrooms. So
Wow.
I'm to find out it was a whole business. I didn't even know that this was like a business that that was going on. Like I've heard it swinging, but just in passing, I didn't know it was a business. So
Wow.
go there. I was her guest, paid the guest fee. She maybe stayed for like 45 minutes, and I'm just having a time out. Like I'm just like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Like just people just naked and whatever, whatever. And I'm like, damn. So of course I'm just exploring. And she's like, well, I'm about to go. Do you want to go? I said, hell no, I want to go. So, so pretty much I talked to the couple who owned it, talked to them. They got to know me, got to know them, asking them questions. So pretty much, kind of find out they had like membership to where you had to buy a 6 month membership, and then you pay at the door, but you had to have a membership. Man, I signed up
Okay.
that damn night. I paid my membership. I made sure every time I went there, I paid my fee every time, and like since then, I stayed there for 6 years, and yeah, I paid every 6 months, and I was a member there. So that's how I kind of got in the lifestyle, and that's why I started looking at different things going on Yahoo. They had like the Yahoo groups back then and whatnot.
Right.
Going into Yahoo groups, figuring see what's going on, and yeah, so that's how I got started.
Was Craigslist popular in your area too, as far as search?
It was starting to pop. It was starting to pop. So like that's where a lot of times, mostly people were like more in like Yahoo groups, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, you're right, because you're talking 2006.
right, right,
Yeah,
right. But I mean,
yeah,
Craigslist was there, so I mean, there was those opportunities that was there to where they had, as you know, and that's pretty sure everybody else know, they had the little meetups and the little the adult portion of Craigslist. So I mean, that was there,
yeah.
but I mean, it was mostly Yahoo groups that
Okay.
I was getting into. So
Right, right. And that's good. So you say you was there for 6 years, a part of a membership. So
yeah,
you probably learned a lot within that 6 years,
man.
like as far as like because you went in there as a single male, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, you learned a lot of dynamics within the etiquette,
Yes.
how to approach people, how to talk to people.
Hmm.
So you kind of got a genuine groove by now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with you going in there, what were some things that you probably say that you didn't expect to be offensive to couples or something like that? You know how people always have these different single male
Yeah.
stigmas, right?
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
like it's not like you go in there and you purposely try, like me personally. Me and my wife single male friendly. I'm not bi, but we're single male friendly.
Yeah, yeah,
She's a
yeah.
hot
Mm-hmm.
wife type deal.
Hmm.
So it's like you have these stigmas, but single male's cool. like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like what the hell is the difference? But
Right.
but with the stigmas, because they may approach things wrong.
Hmm.
What were some mistakes that you probably made when you first went in there that you didn't even think was a mistake?
Well, I mean, for me, I mean, I've always been like a flirt. So, I mean, I've always, flirted with women. Sometimes I push the envelope a little bit, but for the most part, I'm very respectful. I try to be as respectful as possible. If I
Right,
offend somebody, I'm quick to be like, hey, my fault. I didn't mean to offend. If I mean to offend you, I'm just an individual. If I meant to offend you, I will offend you. I don't care. But me being me, like if I'm just joking, just trying to break the ice, to try and make people have a good time, be more relaxed around me and around the situation about the environment. I just want to, let's just crack some jokes, let's laugh, let's have a good time. So I've always came in with respect, of like, hey, this is this individual's wife. I've
right,
always came into like if I am dealing with couples, and even from early on in the early part of my lifestyle journey, I try to involve and talk to the gentleman, try to talk to the husband, the spouse. I'm also involving him, because I'm just like, I don't want somebody to feel like, oh well, yeah, of course, I mean, of course, the guys are here for the woman, but at the same time, I
right,
don't want to be like isolated and like, well, damn, I'm here too. And, if I'm allowing you the opportunity to talk and possibly play with my wife, at least acknowledge me. Like, don't just act like you just ignoring me.
right.
The biggest mistake I would say that I made was that when I first found out, first couple times of going to that club, I told my roommate about it. And of course, he wanted to go. So I invited him. He came as
Okay.
my guest. And I love the
His
brother. Still
approach was different.
I talk to this brother to this day. He's married now, and whatever, whatever. But he thought it was Go to Corral, and he thought it was just and I had to like tell him like, look, bro, this ain't it. Like, I know you know how to talk to women, but even though we in this situation where it's sexually charged, people are naked, and they're fine being naked, and of course you got the women flirting and whatnot. You still got to come out. You got to ask permission. You got to make sure you come with respect, have conversation. Don't talk about sex. Like, this woman could be sitting right in front of you, butt ass naked. Don't talk about sex. Like, talk about something else. Learn, like, know that you can talk about something. Like, I've
That is
seen you
deep.
talk to women.
That is
Like,
a
we,
good
we,
when
we
you
go to the
did.
clubs, we talk to women. We out here, but just because it's more of a sexually open type of facility, don't think that you come in just doing whatever. So that really stuck with me to where it's like, even with the male friends that I'm in the lifestyle, like, I don't, the vanilla people, I don't tell them about it. They find out I'm in the lifestyle. They found out because they was on one of the websites. They see my picture, or they come to one of the facilities or one of the parties or one of the meet and greets or the hotel takeovers or whatever. And they just see me there, but I never do that, because I just don't want, I don't want to make that mistake again, because my thing is this: my name is everything, and I don't want to bring somebody into something who's not fully ready for this, and then all they see is DeAndre brought him, so now everybody's telling everybody I brought him, and they see that situation. Now all of a sudden, now my name is mud in the lifestyle. So that was my biggest mistake.
And that's a good example. That's a good example because we also, even in couples, being the male, wanting the dudes to play with our wife sometime, we might bring a dude in as vanilla and thinking that, not lifestyle experience. And there's no telling if you don't have a rapport with that guy, how that guy may treat your situation,
Right, right,
or approach your wife with these situations. Because, like you said, it looks at it in a different perspective. They look at it like a porn store.
yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you said, like, man, everybody know we fit to get some ass at the end of the night, man. Right? We all
Right,
know she want to do the gawk, gawk,
right,
gawk, gawk
right,
thing,
right.
but
Yeah,
but but we're not. The
yeah,
focus is we just vibing out,
right, right.
chilling. Because most of the people getting in and out, they they having busy lives, and this is the only time they can really damn get out and
Absolutely.
relax on their
Right,
mind.
right, right, right. And
You
all it
know,
takes is one bad time for, somebody to never, show up again. You don't know the level of where somebody's at. They could be a new couple. It could be somebody that's new to the lifestyle. It could be, I mean, prime example, like, I remember I was engaged back in 2016, and I was dating somebody who was vanilla, but we had a conversation, and after having a conversation, kind of, she, told me that she was bi. So then that's when I told her about the lifestyle, and she said, "Well, I've heard about swinging, and I heard about this, and I always thought it was this, it was that." And I was like, "Well, how about if I take you? We started with a meet and greet, to a meet and greet. I'm like, look, explain the whole situation, explain what's
yeah, meat greets
see,
are great.
just kind of like see, what's comfortable." I'm like, look, I'm always here. I'm not gonna leave your side. And I always have this thing to where, like, when I'm, I kind of thought of it, but I went with that with my other partners, to where I'm like, if we're talking to somebody, and let's say we're at a booth, or even if we're at like some cheers or whatnot, and if you just not feeling that whole situation, I don't give a damn if the wife is hot, and or the husband's hot, you feel the husband is, attractive or whatever, whatever, and you're not feeling the wife, or you're not feeling the husband, just always know you have an out. So I'm like, if you are not comfortable of like just saying you're not interested, I'm like, put your hand on my leg, on my thigh, and
Mm,
squeeze it. So, and do it, do it to where it don't, like, people won't notice, but then I can then say, hey, appreciate you, talking to us and whatnot, but just not interested right now. So again, you gotta, like, there's some folks that they want to get into this, but they're just like, yeah, I don't want to do this, because I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, or the stigmas that come with being in a lifestyle, and being afraid of, like, other individuals, especially the negative stigma that comes with single men. So
yeah, that's true. Because man, single males, a lot of us guys, we especially as husbands, we like y'all single males because it makes a cool experience, and we can still have fun with the wife regardless.
mm-hmm.
And then y'all are convenient.
Yeah.
It's more convenient, man is convenient when it comes to
Yeah.
these situations. So it's great and it makes times fun. And I like that I interview you guys on this show because I've been a lifestyler for like 15, 16 years with my partner. We've been together 20 years. But I interview guys on this show because I know who you guys are. And other lifestylers probably know who you guys are that's more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But those who are not as experienced or who still has these the newbie things going on, they they probably want to take that leap, but they probably thinking of you guys like barbarians.
Yeah, right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like really, and it's like no, these guys are really they just like us. They just don't got a woman.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I mean you also got to look at it's a mental thing as well. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, as much as we get, a negative stigma, I mean, there are some men that are part of couples that, they can be intimidated, and especially when it comes down to, a black
Yeah,
male. They
yeah,
may, their wives may have an interest in wanting to, they may be, of a different race. They may have an interest of wanting to explore interracial aspects or interracial sectors of their relationship, on a sexual level. But
right.
maybe they're intimidated. Maybe she maybe she interacts with that individual a little bit better than maybe she does with her own husband. Maybe she
Yeah,
likes sex better with that man than she does with her own husband. I mean, and then that's also even with black
yeah,
couples. I
that
mean,
could bring a lot
maybe
with
he
single
can't
male
get it up
family.
as much as you two, but yet, she got that young bull. And again, and let's just be honest. I mean, you got some individuals to where sex is a mental thing with them. I mean, you got some individuals where sex is just it is what it is. Like we do it. I'll see you next time. Ain't no feelings about, I know if I see you in the mall or something, we ain't got to interact. If we do interact, it's a quick hi, bye, whatever, whatever. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you do got some individuals to where, they may have certain feelings with individuals. I remember there was one time with my ex-fiance, we met a couple on SLS, and we were talking. I was she wanted me to do the talking. I was talking to the husband or whatnot, and there was one time we went to a party to meet them, and I'm sorry, this guy just fell in love with my ex-fiance so much so to where he was starting to like show her more attention than his own wife.
Yeah,
He
that
was in the hot
happens,
tub. He was trying to sit
man.
next to her or now, and then there was one situation. And then at the end of the night, it was drinking and everything. And of course, we didn't have sex with them, but me and her had sex, and there was other people that was like in the room, and we was about to leave, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're about to leave?" Da, da, da. I was like, "Yeah, we're about to leave." So he gives me a handshake, whatever. He goes to her, he's trying to say goodbye to her. So he's like wrapping his arms around her and everything. And like, I'm talking to his wife, but he's with my ex fiance wrapping his, and he wanted to kiss. And she was like, and that was one of our rules that, we don't kiss. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Well, why you don't kiss?" And she was like, "Well, that's our rule." Da, da, da. Well, I mean, you suck dick anyway, so why don't you want to kiss? Like,
Oh, breaking your boundaries.
right, but she didn't tell me that because she knew how I was going to be. So she told me that after we went to go get breakfast, after we
Right.
left this situation, and I cut them completely off. Then all of a sudden, this dude wind up finding her on Facebook. Don't know how, but he
Oh,
found her on Facebook, sent her a friend request, and that was a no-no for us. Like we don't intertwine our personal life with our swinger life. And he's tried to send her a friend request, and I kid you not, this dude sent her a Leah 4-page letter, like professing his love to her, like, "Oh, I just seen you, and I couldn't stop thinking it." Like, bro, it
oh
got to that.
no.
Yeah, so yeah.
So for prime example, so don't think it's just with single males.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not that there was another time we was at a meet and greet, and we met this couple. And again, like I said, I'm trying to like show her the ropes, trying to
But,
hold her hand until we met this one couple, and we were at the bar, and I'm looking at the dance floor, and my ex and his wife and him, they were talking. So they're talking everything, and all of a sudden, like I get tapped by my ex, and she's like, "Hey, like look at her boobs," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "These," I was like, like, she was like, "What do you think about?" I'm like, "Well, they look nice. Like they look real." Now, knew they weren't real, but I just tried to,
Yeah.
go along with it. She's like, "No, they're not real. They're not real." I'm like, "No, they look real. Like, whatever, whatever." And then the guy, he's drunk. He's like, "No, they're not." They're like, "Well, you did a good job." Da, 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 da. And then he's talking. I was like, oh, "Okay." And then he was like, "Well, I know that because my ex, she was very busty." He was like, "Well, I know those ain't real." I'm like, "No, they're real." And she, "No, they're not real." And all of a sudden, as so I only touched his other wife's boobs because I asked, and he was like, "No, feel them." I was like, "All right, cool." So this guy is like, "No, they're not real. They're not real." I'm like, "No, sure, hers is real." Bullshit. And he literally like just put his hands like right, and then like pull, and then she's like, I was like, "Bro, what the f? Like, what you doing?" So it was an awkward silence. His wife was like, "Oh." So then he wound up apologizing. I'm like, "Bro, you gotta ask. Like, I asked you. Don't, so don't show me the same respect." So it's not always the single guys that, that kind of overstep boundaries.
Right, that's true. And I'm glad you gave those stories to show a broad perspective, but because we need those different perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we need people to see different perspectives so they could be more open to the different cultures of the lifestyle. Because
Yeah.
everybody like unicorn, 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 unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody
And
wants a
then
unicorn. Yeah.
yeah, and then when it comes to the single male, they're like, "Oh man, this dude might probably be creepy or something." But really, no, they chill, man. They just like us, man. They just like us. They just ain't found their soulmate yet.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
they find their soulmate, they gonna do their thing too. But until then, man, they just like us. They like
Yeah.
fine, freaky women.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So what made you come to, well, I'm not gonna say really personally what made you move to Florida, but since you moved to Florida from Michigan, how have your lifestyle journey been? Do you feel like it grew? Because I know this is a real popular scene. Is it as popular where you was at in Indiana?
No. So my journey was when I started was in Indianapolis and I moved back to Michigan and I continued.
Okay.
So that's where I met my ex-fiance and we were in lifestyle in Michigan. And then
Okay.
after we broke up, I still continued as a single man. I had like a few other partners that were, we would go to parties together. And then I would at times go to Indianapolis because I wound up finding a group of nothing but African American people that were swingers, and they would throw these mansion parties down in
Mhm.
Indianapolis. And they would have them every month. And I would literally drive 4 hours from Michigan to Indianapolis every like 4 hours there, 4 hours back. Dude, these mansion parties was like legit, legit. And it was nothing but black and brown people. Like I never seen it. Like I'm so, a lot of people
Right.
would associate, the lifestyle with more of okay,
Right.
and and other race of individuals. You would never think this, but this was like a whole like man, this is something else. And then that's when I moved here to Tampa, and I continue that, and it grew, but I've been so I moved in 20 February 2020 here to Tampa. Then my cousin talked me into moving to Phoenix, Arizona in April of 2022. And I was single, my lease was up. I was like, you know what? Let me see what's out there in Phoenix. It is what it is. So I go out to Phoenix, and I'm telling you, out of my 20 years of in the lifestyle, nothing there's I've lived in multiple places. When I visit places, I go to swinger clubs or I go to swinger parties or meet and greets or whatnot. When
Uh-huh.
I tell you Phoenix is on a whole nother level,
Okay.
it's on a whole nother level.
In a good way.
Oh my God. Phoenix, dude,
Oh,
man, there's something going on almost every day lifestyle wise in Phoenix.
oh, that's awesome. They're very open to the community.
Man, I mean, and then I was doing it single, but then I wound up meeting my ex partner, and we would literally go to swinger parties every Friday and Saturday. Like,
Nice.
and there was times where there was like two parties in a day. There was sometimes that one time we went on a Saturday where there was three parties going on. We went to all three swinger parties.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It was just every weekend. So come to find out, I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on in Phoenix that all this lifestyle stuff is going on? And come to find out, there's a lot of people from LA and Las Vegas who are in a lifestyle and or also doing content creation, adult content creation, but they're leaving
Right.
those cities because it was getting too expensive. So now they bring
Okay.
it to Phoenix. So that's why it was popping like how it was. So I would say,
Right.
yeah, Debbie, don't get me wrong. Tampa is cool, but Phoenix, ooh, man, Phoenix is on a whole nother
That's
level.
where that's where you had your best experience.
Man. But I would say this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people that live on the west side of Florida feeling some type of way, but I'm sorry, but in Central Florida, like Kissimmee, Davenport, Orlando, they kill
Yeah.
they kill
Yeah. Orlando is really the scenery.
yeah,
Because you got
they kill
Orlando and then
people.
you got the villages right there. Then you got all that right there, that little
Mm,
section.
yeah, yeah,
With a lot of people, I'm actually located now in Central Florida. I used to be St. Petersburg. I'm originally a St. Petersburg native. And I love the Central Florida
yeah,
atmosphere. It's
yeah,
like it's straight lifestyle.
mm-hmm.
Straight lifestyle. They got a lot of land, which is great,
Yeah,
and that is good for the atmosphere and the
yeah,
culture because it gives people a lot of space to be private,
yeah, yeah.
and I love it, and I'm so glad that Florida is embracing it like that. That's
Yes.
why I came up with the Florida lifestyle. I'm glad that a lot of people here are outspoken,
Mm-hmm.
about it and not scared to show it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Right. Because I feel like we should stand up for our community as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a we like I said, lifestyle gets a bad stigma, and a lot of it just comes from people what they think it is. And like now with being a lifestyle, I mean people want to say, oh, you're going to a Diddy party, and it's like, yeah, it's a
Oh yeah, dude. When he
it's
came
like,
out, I was like, yo, this is gonna make the lifestyle look crazy. And then they locked the dude up for just being basically a swinger
right,
at the
right.
time.
That's a whole nother situation, which I mean
Yeah, that's a
I,
whole
I
nother
think
topic.
I think that's a good topic. That I said if I ever did like a podcast, it would be kind of
Right.
like going
Who went
off
to
of
jail
like
for being a swinger?
you're at the freak offs to where it's like where is the fine line between having a private sexually open party versus being trafficking or moving
Right.
from one to the other. Because again, like you call them Diddy parties how you want to, but I mean these been going on before Diddy was born, and like this,
Yeah.
like when you do the history of swinging and you understand how it
Yeah.
started, how things were going on, like this stuff was going on for forever, so
Yeah. Since
and then,
Roman
then
times.
again, who's one to say that one of the parties could be labeled as that and be taken the wrong way with somebody to have the wrong misconception of what happened. So that's why I'm all about respect and make sure people are safe,
Oh, right.
people feel good about being in this. Because like I said, this is a great lifestyle, and I can tell you I've met some great lifelong friends, to where yeah, we have our fun in the bedroom, but we've also done things outside the bedroom. I just in February, there was a group of 8 of us who are in the lifestyle, and we wound up taking a cruise to the Bahamas for a weekend. And
Right.
and of course it was none but vanilla folks, but I mean it was just us, and we were kicking it and drinking, and food, having breakfast, lunch, dinner together, just kicking it and just having a good time. And then
Right.
of course at night, we all go to somebody's room and have our fun, or we would have fun in between time where we still go out to our cabins and we have our little one-on-one fun or whatever. And again, like those are great friends of mine that I if we never had sex again, I will still be friends with them, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the great part about it because you build such great friendships
Mhm.
and develop with such understanding people because we all understand where we come from
Yeah,
in the same background.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So that's what makes things so great. And I'm glad that you're having a great experience within the lifestyle, especially in the Tampa Bay area. So
Mhm.
if you guys are in the Tampa Bay area, make sure you hit up DeAndre. So you guys, what is your name on SDC so so people can know, viewers can know?
So it's Freako Suave, FREEKOSUAVE on SDC. Also on FetLife, the same name as well. I gotta because I
Link will be in the description. His
yeah
name, username will be in the description as well if you need to
yeah.
know how to spell it
So
properly.
like on FetLife as well, it's Freako Suave, but let me see. Yeah, it's FREEK underscore O underscore SUAVE. So yeah, so that's how I can be reached through FetLife SDC.
Okay, now what's your best way do you like to how do you what's your best scenario you like with couples as far as like you like group gang bang, male, female, male. I'm pretty sure you and I bi,
Yeah.
So what do you? Because more, it's nothing wrong with bi males, but I
No,
know
no,
most of
absolutely
us,
not.
men,
No,
yeah,
no.
most of us lifestylers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sorry, guys, we're not bi males.
yeah.
You got your sprinkle, because
Yeah, hey, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
but we ain't nothing against y'all now.
No,
I'm not.
no, no, no.
No, no, it's just I'm just saying I can identify.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is your favorite type of scenario deals? What do you enjoy being a single guy?
I mean, I like different scenarios, man. I mean, I don't mind my one-on-ones. I don't mind the MFMs. I don't mind the MFMFs. I don't mind the game bangs, the orgies as well. I mean, some of my great times is, having just full-on orgies and people just, moving between, partner and partner,
Oh
things
yeah,
of that
the
nature.
energies and those
Yeah,
are
absolutely. Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah.
don't think people understand even
Yeah, they don't, man. It's just
how to you if you thought you was a 45-minute man, you finna turn into a 3 hour man.
but you
And you
got
don't
so
know where
much
you get this power from.
you got so much going on, and then on top of that, it's just so like that was so I mean for me, to answer your question, I mean, I like a lot of different scenarios. I like being in a lot of different group sex situations. So I mean that's a turn on for me is watching while also being watched. I mean that's a turn on for me. But yeah, I mean, I've I would say for mostly I've handled my own in a lot of situations, and I mean that's just kind of one of the downsides of being in a lifestyle is having those those times where being partnered to where unfortunately the other men can't perform, and then now I got to please both the ladies, and that happens at times. So I mean that's
Yeah, I ain't gonna
just
lie,
so much
y'all do get that pressure. Hey, that is if any single males want to join here, I'm gonna tell y'all the con of being a single male, and this from a husband perspective.
yeah.
We'll sometimes run y'all rugged. I apologize for sometimes we'll think y'all a machine. We go in there and we
but
like,
I
oh,
mean, but the
even if we could perform, we just like, man, we want to see it so bad. Go fuck that
right.
nigga.
But I
Fuck
mean,
that nigga.
but the lady want to be pleased though, man, and it's just, I mean, that's just my thing. Like that goes for any man, rapper. It's a single man, somebody that's part of a couple, throuple, whatever. I mean, just make sure that you're prepared because
Right.
I have this saying, and this has happened from meeting from like I said, being with couples and the man can't get it up, or meeting single men and the male can't get it up, whatever. So then I gotta whatever. And I have this saying. It's like everybody want to be a freak until it's time to be a freak. So it's easy to to be on your phone on the toilet, before you go to work, and you looking at threesomes on your phone, and you looking at things, and you kind of you getting yourself right for the day or for the night or whatever. But when you in that situation, you gotta make sure you're prepared because yeah,
For real, man.
take a look at it from your phone, but when it's right in front of you, and now you got two, three women that want to be pleased, and your whole main thought process was having a threesome or foursome or more some, and you
Mhm.
get a little bit
And
too
it happens on spontaneous
yeah,
situations.
but
It's
it
not
happens
like
at times.
yeah,
Don't get
it's
me wrong.
not like somebody like, yo, we finna all have them gang up on the single male. It's
Yeah,
just like You might get to the point when everybody tired and he's the only one left.
But yeah, man, just make sure you prepare. Have a game plan. Like have a game plan because
And the ladies go, get him.
I can't tell you how many times where, like I said, my ex partner, man, where I had to like, they be texting and they be ready to want to meet up and have fun and whatever. And all of a sudden Saturday come or Friday come and it's time for them to perform, and all of a sudden they like, and then all of a sudden doing is, it's going down
Yeah.
to her all night because they can't get it up. And then now I'm the one that gotta, go between her, my girl, and make sure
Yeah.
everybody's straight.
Yeah. It doesn't be like that, man. The drinking, the
Yeah.
thinking, the drinking, and the thinking.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I also just warn people. It's just those are in the lifestyle. Just also just know your limits.
Yeah.
Everybody. Some
Yeah.
people drink, some people smoke, some people do other things, and I'm not here to judge nobody on what your vices are. But yeah, man, just make sure you know your limit.
And
Because
be responsible with
yeah,
whatever
be
you do.
responsible, be respectful. Because
Yeah,
I've
especially
been seen a lot.
yeah, be responsible. Make sure you know what you're dealing with. Consent. Some people play protected, some people don't. But
Yeah,
whatever your thing is, just make sure you know what you're doing.
absolutely. So
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their thing. It's no judgment. It's just
yeah,
make
no
sure you know.
judgment at all.
Yeah, it just make sure you know what you're doing when you're doing it,
Right.
and make sure you just safe.
Because I'm telling you, when it's go time, it's go time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hell, it's go time. There's no turning back.
There's no turning back.
Yeah, we're gonna tell the wise up. Yeah, man. I'm so glad that you took your time out, DeAndre. And I'm gonna have make sure y'all guys out there, make sure y'all hit them up. And if you need to know anything about the lifestyle journey or you just in the area, make sure you hit him up on FetLife NSDC. His stuff is right there in the bottom, right there in the description where everything be at on YouTube. Or if you're watching this on social media, make sure you go to the YouTube and then hit the description and then you can see it because we want to sit here and bring the purpose of the show is we want to bring information out to everybody in the community and show them all the people under the floor of the sun that represents the lifestyle. And we made the gear so people could represent the lifestyle in the discreet way because we got all these different groups, which is cool, but this represent all us groups,
Hmm.
every group, every club, every private resort, everything that's here in Florida. This represent us all because we are all in the same boat when it comes to being a Florida lifestyler.
Hmm.
And so I'm here to bring out everybody who want to be an activist for it, everybody who stands up for it, and I appreciate you, DeAndre, standing up and telling your story because this is going to give other single males confidence.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to be restricted from the lifestyle.
absolutely.
Just like from the other community, there's no restrictions. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no restrictions to us too. Single, not single, we got you.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of times we throw events and people like, it's just single man. I try to keep it down so it just don't make the uncomfortable other couples. So I try to keep a minimum. Because
Right.
my wife is a freak. She'll go all out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Choo choo choo, choo little edge of that could. To get her started, it's like all damn night. You know what I'm saying? But 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 other couples, you don't know their speed. So I try to keep the singles on a minimum,
Hmm.
but it's still like, I still bring y'all guys in. I don't try to disgrace against you guys. People ask, is the single males accepted? Yes, they're accepted here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna bring single females in and say single males not be accepted. And
Right.
for one, I'm all about the connection of relationships. So
Hmm.
this is what's really, really I think is player about that is because what if you come as a single male and I bring in a single female come and then that might be your partner.
It might be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cause I meet a lot of y'all single males, and they be like, man, if I could just find somebody who can understand the lifestyle, like
Hmm.
I have one. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
Because it's like a person to get in it and they'll dabble with y'all, but they don't want to commit to it because y'all be real lifestylers at the heart, the ones I
Mm-hmm.
meet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I meet them through y'all through the lifestyle site. So we all are lifestylers at true
Right.
nature. And it's like, you're like, damn, they be like, I wish I could find that. So, hopefully
Man,
one day I could get somebody to be that. Cause they
bro.
could be like, I met at a Florida lifestyle party. And I could be like,
I'm
yes, I
I'm telling
finally.
you, man, it's hard out here, bro. Like I would love to, like, I mean, that's my ideal person is somebody that that's in a lifestyle. I want to have my girlfriend, my future wife, to be lifestyle friendly as well. And
Right.
I'm the type of individual, like, even with my ex and also my partners, that I've had before. Like, I'm not the one to be like, yeah, we don't play with single men and or da, 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 da. It's like, look, as long as you're comfortable and you respect it, go at it. Have a good time. There's times where I've been to parties and she was getting having a fun time, and I was, I would say not having a fun time, but like she was getting down, and I
Yeah,
wasn't,
yeah,
for whatever
yeah.
reason, it may have been, and I'm fine with that, and I'm open to that, and that's where, because my outlook on sex is just a whole lot different. Like I
Yeah.
just I just feel like, and that's another reason, kind of like going back to the first question when you say how did I get in the lifestyle, you know, my outlook on sex is just different. Like I just feel like attraction and sexual attraction doesn't end when you're in a committed relationship with somebody. I feel as though that what goes on in a sexual manner could be left at that situation, but we can go back and we got to deal with life together. We got to live together, eat together, whatever together. We got to live
Yeah.
day by day together, and what we
Yeah.
do sexually, it's fine. Like it's okay. So and then I just feel like it just cuts a lot of cheating down. A lot of
Yeah.
people, want to claim that they're so vanilla. And that's one of the funniest things that I never understood is that these vanilla folks are so vanilla and they won't exchange partners, but then they got side pieces and they got
All
little
kind of secrets
situations
and
going on, but yet they'll
yeah.
never.
Or
And I'm just like, why don't you just be a swinger? Like, why don't you just have open? No, 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 I ain't doing that. So then why are you cheating? Like, open it up.
or they'll be single and they like polygamous.
Yeah, just open it up. Just like, look, you already cheating on each other.
To
So
be
just, I
single,
mean,
but you like, I'm talking to 5 people at one time. You polygamous,
right? You polit? No, I'm not. No, no, I'm not. I ain't. No, no, no. I ain't. Like it's crazy, man.
You might not know it, but you polygamous.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, they know it, but they just want to because they're afraid with other. Because again, let's be honest, man. People claim that they don't care what people think about them, but they really do. Like they
Yeah,
really worry about what other people think about them. And I think
yeah,
that's what's stopping a lot of people from getting a lifestyle is that they're just so afraid of what other people's going to think about them if they find out and how they're going to look at them. And then you got some people that they're so insecure with their life to where they do want to get in this, but they don't want to be looked at a certain way. So now they got to shame the other person, like, something wrong with you. But then they really want to get into it. So I mean,
right.
yeah. So I mean, again, like I'm with you. Like I hope avenues like this, can
Can
be
help people
here.
find each other.
Can just
Yeah,
help people. I mean, hell, shit, we should do some lifestyle speed dating events. Like I think that's a good
I'm
idea.
down to network, man. I'm a
Yeah,
networker.
I think that's a great idea to just
Okay.
have people
Yeah,
do a speed dating thing, man. Because again, you just never know who you're going to find, and just bridge those gaps to where folks would be interested in doing
right.
stuff.
And there's our lifestylers that are poly that date other couples, so they
Yeah,
might want to meet other couples, and
right. They just don't know
yeah,
how
you're
to, they don't
right.
know how to do it. So
That'd be interesting. I would definitely see how can we can arrange that, and you could be definitely a host with that,
yeah,
co-host with that,
yeah,
man. That'd be fucking amazing, man. Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah. Now before we head out, because I gotta get back to the family life. I'm gonna ask one more question. When you hear the term Florida lifestyler, what comes to your mind?
Florida lifestyle. I mean, that before meeting you, obviously. Florida lifestyle. I mean, that to me is just. I mean, we live in one of the, in my opinion, one of the great states of the United States. I mean, we got sun all year round. I mean, we ain't gotta worry about snow unless you like in the panhandle and it's one of them crazy times or whatnot. But I mean, bro, we live in a state where, man, people barely wear clothes. I mean, you got the bodies right. You got, and when I say the bodies right, there's people of different body shapes inside. Everybody has their preference of body types
Right.
that they find attractive. So I don't want this to come off like you got to have a certain body to be in this. That's one of the other things I'm having my issues with. Taking vanilla women to like Caliente or like Paradise Lakes or Secrets is because they're like, I want to go because I want to get naked, but I've had women be like, I don't want to go because let me get my BBL first and now I'll go, or let me get my boobs done first, then I'll go, or
Yeah,
let me get my tongue
like
done first, and I'm like,
you're
well,
gonna see all type of body
I'm like
shape.
this all typical. And they said, well, yeah, I know that, but I just want to. So again, it's like, okay, so you want to be the one that everybody looks at. You want to be the finest one in the room. And it's like, bro, like you ain't gotta come and do that. Like you want to
And
be,
one thing about the lifestyle, that's a place where you're gonna forever lose at.
yeah, you are. And again, you're
And
not gonna,
that's the God honest truth. If you
yeah.
think you're in the lifestyle that you're gonna just always be the finest person in the room, you better look for a whole nother person.
this,
Hey,
this
man and woman, boy, cause we come in all type of packages and it's all type of
absolutely,
flavors. You might thought
absolutely,
you seen something and then you seen something. And then
right,
she might
right.
thought she seen something and she seen something.
Absolutely. So I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
so to me, I would say just to answer the question, like Florida lifestyle to me is, like I said, somebody that we live in this great state. We live in, it's just, I mean, you're coming down here, right? If it's visiting, living, your mood changes, especially if you come from up north, like I do. Your mood changes, and this is a lot of, it's a lot of different things to do. I mean, when you're looking at, the like I said, Orlando is just in lifestyle is just off the charts, in my opinion. When it comes down to Florida, but I also haven't done nothing in Miami, and I can only imagine, Miami is probably like on a whole nother level when you got so many people from different
Yeah.
nationalities and different, states, different countries that come to Miami, and there's a lot of different things going on there. You got Jacksonville. Jacksonville is starting to pop now, to where I'm meeting more and more people in Jacksonville. They got things going on. I'm meeting people up in Pensacola, Tallahassee, that's starting to get things going on. Then you got your small parties down at like Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, uh, uh, um, Daytona.
It's just spreading.
I know I'm missing some cities, but I mean, but it's a lot of different things that's going on, and
It's spreading. It's
it's
spreading and
spreading.
it's
So
spreading very positively.
yeah,
And we're gonna have everybody representing with the hats.
absolutely.
I'm gonna get you a hat too. Don't worry.
I
We're gonna
appreciate
mail you
that.
a hat. We'll get you a hat,
I
and
appreciate that.
so you can represent too. This represents you.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
represents
absolutely.
everybody. Yeah, and that's why I'm glad that I thought of the organization in that way because I'm all about people. I'm not
Yeah,
about me. It's all about everybody. I'm always a everybody person. I'm a big brother, so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's the big brother syndrome.
I get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
but no, but man, but just thank you for doing this, man, and thank you for being another a person that is really trying to put on for the lifestyle, and trying to get out there, and like I said, trying to bridge that gap between speculation and what reality is, and
So
showing it,
Brett,
and and like I said, I hope that this continues. I hope I'm not, this ain't the first last time I'm on. I hope,
no, no, definitely.
I
And you're
would like,
close by. You're a cool dude, man. I definitely want to. I'm serious when I say it. I mean it. So I want to put that speed date in sometime and play. I just have to find out, scheduling because we got children and everything.
right, right,
But
right.
but you have a pretty available schedule. So if I could get the venue and you could be the host, we could do a thing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We just have to find the time. But that is a definite great idea because I heard other lifestylists that said they hosted some of those and they said that they was very successful. So if we
Mhm.
could get more of those popping up, this is going to be even better.
Yeah, yeah. I
Right,
mean,
right.
yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of different things. Like I said, I just hope this opens it up to speed dating, pop up events, just
Yeah.
different things where, like I said, it bridges that stigma. So I just want to say, I just want to give you your flowers. Hey,
Thank you so much, DeAndre.
you're doing good stuff here, man. Keep up the good work, man. Whatever
And this
honest
is a
person,
great interview. You gave a great outlook, man. You spoke it very well. You know what I'm saying? And I like that because you spoke it very well to give a great perception. You know what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying?
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever I can do to help out, man, just let me know, and I'm for it. So
Great. Definitely. You guys, y'all make sure y'all hit up DeAndre right there. Link is in the bottom. You're gonna have all this information where you could contact with them. And be out of here. We are Florida, and this is our lifestyle. Holla at your boy. All right, DeAndre. Talk to you later, man. Good
all
night.
right. Talk to you.
Bless.
Yep.
See ya.